Good evening. My name is Paul Andrew. I'm the Vice President for Public Affairs and Communications at Harvard, and I want to welcome you all to the Harvard Ed Portal as we celebrate the 2016-2017 Harvard Allston Partnership Fund grant recipients. In particular, I want to welcome the representatives of the 13 community organizations that we honor today. The work that you do in service of the Allston Brighton community is invaluable, and I'm delighted that we gather here today to celebrate it and to celebrate such thoughtful contributions. In a few minutes, we'll hear from Harvard University President Drew Gilpin-Faust, Mayor Marty Walsh, and Ed Lavash from Boston Boxing and Fitness. A sincere thank you to them for being here with us this evening. I also want to recognize our distinguished city and state elected officials who have joined us to honor this year's recipients. This evening represents one of many times when city, campus, and community have gathered together in this space since our last ceremony 12 months ago. The collaborations that activate the Harvard Ed Portal get stronger with each passing year. One of the most successful collaborations to emerge from our collective partnership has been the Harvard Allston Partnership Fund. Now in its 9th year, this program seeks to support the vital work that local nonprofits are doing each and every day in Allston, Brighton. As we celebrate close to a decade of this program, I want to thank several of our partners from the Boston Planning and Development Authority who remain so thoughtfully engaged on our work together. Director Brian Golden, whose leadership and commitment to public service continue to strengthen this community. Trin Wynn, the director of Mayor Walsh's Office of Workforce Development, who also chairs our Workforce and Economic Development Advisory Board, part of a coordinated effort to provide Allston Brighton residents and business owners with the resources they need to succeed in a 21st century economy. And Gerald Otler, the BPDA's senior project manager and planner in Allston, who deserves recognition and thanks for over a decade of dedicated coordination and advocacy overseeing Harvard's initiatives in this community. We want to thank them, so thank you very much. It's now my real pleasure to introduce a champion, a supporter, a passionate advocate for the sorts of partnerships we celebrate this evening, Harvard President Drew Gilpin-Faust.
Thank you, Paul. It's such a pleasure to be here and such a pleasure every year to celebrate the wonderful organizations that are recognized and supported by this fund. And I look forward to seeing the leaders of those organizations and congratulating you on the wonderful work that you do for this community and for all of us in the larger Boston area. Special thanks to Mayor Walsh, who's been such a staunch supporter of this effort. It's a pleasure to be here with him again today. Since we gathered here last March, the Ed Portal has continued to grow in exciting ways while maintaining the educational opportunities that have woven it into the fabric of this community. I was just excited to see some kids learning to program and to build games themselves in partnerships in the next room, working with some of our Harvard College students. So having Harvard undergraduates mentor children here is one of the essential efforts of the Ed Portal. We see community members learning from one another. We see faculty members delivering lectures and leading conversations with residents. We see individuals broadening their understanding of the world. And we see artists, local and from beyond this area, create and display their work, and it reminds all of us of the value of art and its ability to create communities and to nurture humanity across time and space. All of what happens here underscores how much we can do when we work together. The 13 nonprofit organizations we will recognize today don't just help individuals grow, they help individuals grow into citizens, into neighbors, and into a community. I want to thank you and thank the nonprofit organizations that you represent for turning these joint efforts and combined support into thoughtful and meaningful projects and programs for residents of all ages. And I especially want to thank our advisory board members for taking the time and care to evaluate grant applications each year and helping us determine how best to serve the needs of the more than 4,300 people who call North Allston and North Brighton home. Over the last 9 years, the Harvard Allston Partnership Fund has provided $900,000 in grants and has supported 28 different organizations and has supported the remarkable success that they have made possible. We're very excited to see how this year's grant recipients will enhance such varied areas as youth enrichment activities, English literacy instruction, family engagement opportunities, educational programs, health and wellness programming, and we're very proud to welcome them as partners in the effort to bring more opportunities to more people in our communities. So now it is a great pleasure to introduce someone whose partnership has been integral to Harvard and to our broader community, my friend, Mayor of Boston, Marty Walsh.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you for that introduction and what you do. I was thinking a minute ago, well, before I get into that, I want to thank also Paul for his great work. I want to thank, in particular, City Council Maxiomo and State Representative Kevin Honan, who are fierce advocates for the community. We were out last night, I think it was, giving grants out last night. It was great to give money out. So I want to, we try and do as much as we can. So I want to thank you. With smiling faces yesterday, some good money. I also want to introduce Chief of Operations for the City of Boston, who actually worked for the City of Boston. Harvard stole him. I stole him back. Pat Brophy. I want to thank Pat for his great work. Trin Nguyen was introduced already, but she does some incredible work in the City of Boston around workforce development. And Trin came to us a couple of years ago with an idea of doing some savings accounts, free college tuition, and we've been able to do 3 colleges now for every BPS grad to get their start at Roxbury Community College, Bungay Community College, Mass Bay Community College, and we're working with other colleges like Harvard to be able to get that pathway into 4-year college. So I want to thank Trin for all her great work and being very creative. I want to congratulate Harvard on your first Beanpot victory since 1993. And during that 24-year gap of winning Beanpots, they've been very quiet. They only have 14 Nobel Peace Prize winners. So that's not really, I wouldn't really call that a losing streak. So I want to congratulate you on that. I also want to just thank all of you that are here, the community that's here today. Boston's identity is forged by great leadership in our community and with our colleges and universities, and we're blessed to have some of the best universities and colleges in the world right here in the city of Boston and in your neighborhood. And that's a partnership that really helps us thrive, and giving young people the opportunity to be able to come to this great space, not just young people, but the community come here, really makes it a tremendous difference. We're going to continue to build on that tradition of working partnerships and that union, we'll call it a relationship, because it really is. And I laugh because I know before I was the mayor, I know that for some reason there was always seems to be a little battle with Harvard and the community. And Madam President, since I've been the mayor and you've been here and working on Mark, we've been a pretty good run right now. So I want to keep that going. The Harvard Ed portal, obviously the Paluca Life Learning Labs, creating opportunities for young people. I think about it a lot. As mayor, I've been mayor for 3 years, and prior to that I was a state representative. And being mayor, you look at things differently, and you look at, obviously, the city differently. As a rep, you focus on your district and the Commonwealth. And I think about the growth we've made in the city, and we're talking a lot about closing achievement gaps, and we're talking about how do we really give opportunities for everyone to be successful. And the jobs of the future really have changed. When I was growing up in Dorchester, many of my friends' fathers and mothers were on the phone company or on the gas company, the Edison company, water and sewer, maybe working in the trades, and that was a pathway for a lot of families. And when you look today, those jobs are disappearing. Those jobs are becoming tech jobs. Those jobs are becoming clean energy jobs. Those jobs are becoming innovative jobs. And what happens in this space and happens in many of the different organizations are preparing our young people for the workforce of the future. And we have to continue that. And we're focusing in the Boston Public Schools as well, partnering with Harvard, looking at how do we make sure that we prepare our young people for a pathway to college or a pathway to a career. And I want to, again, thank everyone, and thank particularly Harvard for that partnership, understanding the importance of that and that relationship, but also importance of strengthening our young people's future. So thank you for that. And this partnership takes two sides, obviously, when we talk about Harvard and talk about what the president, what happens here, but it also takes great neighborhood institutions. And today, 13 of those are being receiving grants. And I want to congratulate each and every one of you. Many of them, the impacts that you have is about having a complete community. I talk about this a lot. And a neighborhood, when we think about growing out different neighborhoods, neighborhoods are only as good as the involvement of the community and what's offered in those communities. And we've seen neighborhoods grow in downtown area happening in the South Boston waterfront. We're seeing it in the Back Bay a little more than the past. And what they're missing, in some cases, and they know this to be a complete neighborhood, they're missing what's in this room. They're missing the organizations. They're missing that organizations that actually make a neighborhood a neighborhood. So I want to just congratulate all of you because you certainly reflect the spirit of this city in this room. So I want to thank you for that. And I think am I introducing the next speaker? All right. I get to introduce the next speaker. Ed, how do you pronounce your last name? That's what I was going to say, Ed Lavach. Ed Lavach, owner of Boston Boxing and Fitness. Ed is using the Harvard grant to expand his gym, Fit Students for Life program in Allston and Brighton. And Ed's going to come up here and talk a little bit about his program. And there's an awful lot that's kind of overlooked by the power of sport through discipline and through moving forward. And Ed, I'm sure, will talk a little bit about that, but the opportunities by having young people and being able to teach them not necessarily the skill of boxing, but the skill of discipline and moving forward. So I want to thank Ed and congratulate him and bring Ed up here to say a few words.
Thank you all for having us here, and thank you, Harvard, for helping us out. We really appreciate that. So real quick, so there's quite a few programs that we do at the gym. We're located only a couple of streets away on Holton Street. We're a full fitness facility. We have classes, we do boxing, we have a competitive, non-competitive program that we do. With that, we also do a lot of different charities that just kind of came about, and obviously we offer for free. I want to mention a couple of those because we're always looking for help. We're always looking for interested people to kind of come by and just kind of have some input on how we can grow some of these things and how we can make them bigger. One thing that we do is every Wednesday at 5:30 we have a free class for cancer survivors. It's a place for cancer survivors to come in to kind of get their world back, get their strength back, get their self back, and be around other people who are also doing the same. Another thing that we've been doing and we've been working a lot on is we're working with an addiction program, Watertown Overcoming Addiction, where we're allowing recovering addicts to come to the gym for free, to work out for free, to be around good quality people, and just kind of get their life back together as well. That's a program that that's definitely a program that we want to make bigger, and we're looking to kind of broaden that as well. But the program that we're here for today is our Fit Students for Life program. We've been doing it now for 11 years. Basically, it's an after-school program, but it's more than that. It's a mentoring program. We're a gym full of young professionals, college age, college kids, college graduates. So when we have these young kids come in, the middle school, high school kids, some elementary school kids, they're surrounded by good role models. They're surrounded by people who take the time to talk to them, work with them, work out with them. We have trainers that are there to work with those kids, but all of our clients know who these kids are. All of our clients are the first to grab them and say, hey, listen, what are you doing? You're working on the heavy bag? Come with me. Let's do a drill together. And then they'll talk to them, and they'll kind of banter back and forth. How was your day? How's school? Since Since Charlesview moved over to their new location, we've had quite a few of those kids come through the door as well. The summer was packed, obviously, as it always is with them. But throughout the course of the year, we have a lot of different kids that come through, and we do exactly that. We kind of try to provide that role model for them. It's a place to get in shape. It's fitness and wellness is a very important part of life, especially at a young age, to really to introduce them to that, but also to introduce them to just different people, different professions and things like that. So that's kind of what that program is. And what we're doing right now, what we're using the grant money for, is we're doing a summer program with them. We're going to have 15 kids come in, and we're going to do a summer-long program at the gym. We're going to do a competitive program with them. We're going to bring them over to Harvard. I talked to these guys about bringing them over to the stadium and having some of the athletes come out and talk to them on a day where maybe we do some exercise over there. And then we're going to try to do something here at the end of the summer, where we can introduce them, for the kids who haven't been here yet and haven't seen the portal yet, to be able to come over and see it, and we'll kind of do, kind of an end of the year thing. But that's generally what the program is, and we've been doing it, like I said, for a long time. We've had a lot of the kids over there already, but this is our way of kind of putting it together, bringing some recognition to it, not only for us, because we don't care about the recognition, but more for them and for the community to know exactly what we're doing and what's going on, and get you guys to kind of come down and help out and maybe do a workout with some of these kids one of these days. So thank you very much. Thank you for having me up, and thanks and congratulations to the rest of the recipients.
Thank you, Ed, for that important and inspirational work, and for everything you do, and for joining us this evening. It's now time to begin the awards portion of this evening's ceremony. I'd like to invite Mayor Walsh and President Faust to present certificates to each organisation. I'll call each organisation one by one. As your group is called, please come forward. I'll read a short narrative on your organisation as you receive your certificate, and join Mayor Walsh and President Faust for a photo. Once you've done that, we ask you please return to your seat for the remainder of the ceremony. So the first award recipient is the Allston Brighton Youth Hockey Association. The Allston Brighton Youth Hockey Association is committed to providing a robust, affordable and inclusive youth hockey organisation to the families and children of Allston Brighton. This grant will support the growth of the Learn to Skate programme and hockey instruction. The next recipient is Big Brothers Big Sisters of Mass Bay. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Massachusetts Bay is one of the nation's largest one-to-one youth mentoring organizations, driven by a mission to help children in under-resourced families thrive by providing transformational one-to-one relationships with caring adult volunteers. This grant will be used to support mentoring programs for 40 boys and girls in North Allston and North Brighton. Our next recipient is Boston Boxing and Fitness. For over a decade, Boston Boxing and Fitness has run a growing list of free charitable fitness programs focusing on populations in need. This grant will support Fit Students for Life, a 4-month-long program for middle and high school students that teaches the importance of fitness and healthy living. Funding will be used to expand a Fit Students for Life session offered to Allston Brighton youth. Our next winner is Boston String Academy. Providing a vibrant string program, performance opportunities, master classes, lessons and ensemble settings to inner city youth, the Boston String Academy's grant will be used to provide an after-school string musical program and performance opportunities to elementary school students. Our next recipient is Common Wheels. A volunteer-run collaborative, Common Wheels empowers people to use the bicycle to enhance their lives. This grant we use to support Pedal Power, a program to teach bike safety to youth in North Allston and North Brighton. Our next recipient is the Family Nurturing Centre. Working to build nurturing communities where children are cherished, families are supported, and healthy human development is supported by all, the Family Nurturing Centres grant we use to maintain and grow 2 existing playgroups serving roughly 50 families in North Allston and North Brighton. Our next recipient is the Fishing Academy. For 12 years, the Fishing Academy has provided programming that allows local youth to experience fishing and participate in hands-on environmental education programs designed to reinforce life skills and expose participants to the wonders of nature. This grant will support the Fishing Academy's 2017 summer camp, which will bring youth from Allston and Brighton on fishing expeditions around eastern Massachusetts. The next award recipient, the Friends of the Honan Allston Library. An all-volunteer organization of library users, neighbors, and businesses, Friends of the Honan Allston Library supports and increases awareness of the library branch's services. This grant will be used to provide sewing instruction to approximately 50 people at the library. Our next recipient is Gardner Pilot Academy. Serving over 350 students from pre-K through grade 8, the Gardner Pilot Academy provides high-quality teaching along with a range of social, emotional, and enrichment programs. This grant will be used to support enrollment of North Allston and North Brighton students in the GPA YMCA after-school program. Our next winner is the Literacy Connection. Through the ministry of the Congregation of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Boston, the Literacy Connection teaches low-income adults how to read, write, and communicate in English. This grant will be used to provide tutoring in English literacy and citizenship preparation to 15 adults. Our next recipient is the Midas Collaborative. The Midas Collaborative is dedicated to advancing the financial security of low-income residents of Massachusetts by helping individuals increase the economic mobility of their families. This grant will help support the Financial Confidence and Coaching Program, providing financial coaching services to 35 low-income residents of Allston and Brighton. Our next recipient is the Oak Square YMCA. As part of its commitment to strengthening communities through youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility, the Oak Square YMCA offers instructional swim lessons to Allston Brighton residents of all ages. This grant will provide scholarships for local youth to participate in aquatics programs, providing them with an opportunity to learn life-saving and swimming skills. Final recipient is the West End House Camp. Providing boys with recreational programs in a safe, caring and nurturing atmosphere, this grant will be used to send 10 boys from Allston Brighton to a 2-week summer camp where leadership skills, teamwork and confidence are built through outdoor activities, educational programs and sports in the natural environment. I'd now like to invite the members of the Harvard Allston Partnership Fund Advisory Board to come to the front for a photograph as well. So members of the advisory board who are here, thank you.
You'll probably get in the middle. We'll get on the end. Yeah, we'll get on the end. I can't.
Squeeze right in there.
Try not to stand in front of anybody.
Before we conclude, I mentioned Director Golden earlier. I believe he has now joined us. I just want to thank Director Brian Golden of the BPDA for his work in the community. Congratulations once again to all the recipients for this year. We look forward to learning more about your great work throughout the year. And let me please conclude by asking you to give one last round of applause to all the recipients for this year. Thank you very much for coming.